Hi, I'm Carl. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, I guarantee you I am not an expert on this, but I'm going to give it a shot. I am going to take this Buck Brothers plane, 3-inch block plane, 40501. Purchased it from Home Depot. I believe it was around $10. I'm going to take this cheap Buck Brothers plane and hopefully turn it into something that's useful and workable. So stay tuned, let me show you my process, readjust the camera, and I'll be back with you. Here we go. Now I'm going to make things a little bit harder for me. This is a sharpening stone that I purchased from Dollar Tree. This is some sandpaper that I purchased from, I believe, Dollar Tree. I'm not quite sure. Dollar Tree or one of the cheap stores, but anyway. And this is a honing guide. Give you a closer up view of that. And I'm not sure where I purchased this, but they're readily available for anywhere from $6, $8, $10, $15. You can buy these all over the place on eBay. It's called a Sharpening Honing Guide. And here is the Buck Brothers. There we go. 3-inch block plane. I'll go ahead and cut that out of the package right here. Here's my knife. So this is going to be straight out of the package. I'm going to show you how it comes. Okay. Here we go. Blade's sticking way out the bottom here. Way out the bottom. Probably at least 1/8 inch, 3/16 of an inch. Not a good thing. It's very crooked. Anyway, I'm just going to loosen up this knob right here. Take the iron out. Set it aside. 3 little pieces to this plane. And the blade. Now let me go ahead and wipe this off right here and get the oil off of it. Now I've read several books on this, not thoroughly, but I've seen several articles. I saw a couple of demonstrations, and we are going to hopefully get this plane in working order here. Wipe off all the grease, packaging grease on here. There you go. Now first thing, the bottom of the plane. How do we know if this is flat? If the bottom of your plane is not flat, it's not going to cut correctly. So the first thing we're going to do, I already have a piece of sandpaper here, already glued up. Get your roughest piece of sandpaper, this is an 80 grit, glue it down to a surface that you know is flat. Here's my plane. I've got a Sharpie. We're just going to mark this up like this. And we're going to run this across the sandpaper until this Sharpie marking is completely gone. This is going to take a while. So I'm going to do a lot of skipping in this video. A lot of fast forward. There you go, you can see what's already happened here. It needs a lot more sanding on there. So I'm going to keep on sanding on this. There you go. Definitely taking it off. So I'm going to put you on pause. I'm going to keep on sanding on this until this black mark is completely gone. I'm going to put another mark on here. There we go. Edge to edge. I'm going to keep on sanding on this, and I'm going to put you on hold, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, here's the bottom of the plane now. You can see how much I've taken off. Sharpie's almost all gone. You can see all the scratches that are in here now. Those won't affect anything. You can move to a smoother sandpaper, but this is pretty smooth for what my needs are going to be for this plane. So I made a mistake earlier. I should have showed you how this plane cuts before I started on the bottom of the plane. So I'm going to set this back in here. I want to eyeball it. Push this plane out just a little bit until it is sticking out just enough to where it's going to cut some wood. Let me get a piece of wood and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I have a piece of pine here. As you can see, if I run it along the side here, it just barely catches. I'm going to make it just a little bit deeper. Just a little bit. Whoops, that was a little bit too loose there. Get back in there. And on the bottom, you want to make that as straight across as you can. So, let me shift this just a tiny bit. Tighten that up. Okay. You can see how the wood is catching on here now. Right? So, again, this is before the blade was sharpened at all. I'm going to do a little chamfer here. Get a little bit off there. A little tight, a little rough. It does plane it a little bit, but we're going to sharpen that thing up and it's going to be much easier to use. Much easier. So, let me take this back out. Take the blade out. See how smooth that bottom is? That is really nice and smooth. Okay. I'm going to move this sandpaper aside. This is the Sharpening Stone from the Dollar Tree. Not expecting much out of this, but we're going to give it a shot. I'm using these cheap materials to show you how anybody would be able to do this. Not just me, not just other fancy woodworkers that you see on YouTube. Just an average everyday homeowner. So I'm just going to lay this down right here. Got my blade, and you'll see it has the angle already on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use that same angle, and I'm going to see what it is on the stone right here. Now, if I had an expensive plane, I don't want to put this at a specific desired angle, but for this $10 plane, I'm just going to use the one that's provided. And I'm going to use this honing guide. So, let me go ahead and tighten this up. Now this blade is going to be too narrow to fit on this outside. So I'm going to have to put it down in here in the middle. You'll see these two notches right here. I'm just going to put this right in there. Tighten it up. Just barely tighten it. I'm going to set it down here. And I'm going to adjust this angle while it's in this honing guide to the stone. So loosen this up. There we go, that's pretty close. Tighten this up. There we go. Now, this is not a sharp plane at all, not at all. And that angle is pretty close. So let me go ahead and get some water, spray on here. A lot of people like using like 409. I'm just going to spray some on there. Now, for the life of me, I can't remember which side is rougher. I believe the gray side is rougher than the white side. So, here we go. I'm just going to put pressure down in the middle. Roll this back and forth. You'll see how the wheel is rolling on here. There we go. You see that wheel, how it rolls on there? So I am just putting pressure on the front, sharpening this up. Already you can see a little slurry, and the shinier spot is where it got sharpened. So let me continue with that. I'm going to sit back down, spray a little bit more liquid on there, see what's going on here. Now many people say do not spray any kind of liquid on here, but I think it's going to be your personal choice. Try not to roll off the edge like I've done a couple times. Much better. Like I said earlier, I'm doing this with materials that any homeowner can use, any beginner woodworker can use. Buy it on the cheap. I'm going to pause the video for just a little bit, but before I do that, I'm going to show you this edge right here. Now, can you see the top half? It might be kind of harder to see. The top half is shinier than the bottom half. The top half is one that's been getting sharpened right now. Let's see if I can. There we go. There's a better angle. I'm going to do this a few more times, and I'm going to flip this stone over to the white side. Now let me show you that cutting edge again. It's almost a mirror-like finish, so I'm going to do a few more strokes and then we're going to cut a piece of wood with it. I guess cutting is a wrong term. We're going to plane a piece of wood. And we're not going to use a piece of pine like I did earlier. We're going to use a piece of oak or cherry or something like that. So, there we go. Let me wipe this off. And then the last pass, I'm just going to turn this on the side. And there's a little rolled over edge. I know you can't see it, but if you run your finger, you can feel it. Oh, the steel is rolled over like this. So I'm going to just take that rolled over edge off a little bit more. There we go. Okay, let me reload this plane and we're going to plane a piece of wood. Okay, I got two pieces of wood here. I got a piece of walnut and got a piece of oak. And we're going to put a little chamfer edge on the ends of these boards right here with this tuned up plane. Let's see how this works out. I'm using the Craftsman folding pegboard table, and I have the fence up right here. I'm just going to put the board against here for stability. Okay, on the plane, I have the blade just barely coming out the bottom here, and this is even across as I can get. You see the space in there. And if I put it on the board like this, you can see it drags. So let's see how this is at cutting. We'll put a chamfer on this edge. Not too bad. Not too bad at all, really. Here we go. See the chamfer on here. Let's go on the end grain, see how that works. It is tearing it out a little bit, but it is working. You can see the shavings come out right here. Let's go to this side, see if I can make a nice curl come up. Now this is not flat, but I'm going to see what I can do on this piece of scrap. Try to keep my finger out of the way so you can see what comes out right here. There we go. Not too bad. Here's the chamfer I just put on it. Let's try this piece of walnut right here. See, make sure it's in the camera good. There you go. Going to go with the grain first right here. It is tearing a little bit. Let me put it back over here. Get those out there. See if we can get a curl coming up right here. Got some small curls. So if I were standing up and had this in a vise, it'd be much easier. Let's try it this way, see what happens. Anyway, this plane, around $10. I'll put a picture of it up on here. $10 at a Home Depot. If you tune it up right, it can be a useful tool. If you don't tune it up right, it won't be much good to you at all. I could sharpen up this blade a little bit more, but I think you can get use out of these things. I think you can make it work. Now keep in mind, if you buy it, when you buy it from the store and take it out of the package, it's not going to be tuned up. It's not going to cut very well. You're going to have to do a good tune-up on it. So if you follow my real quick instructions on how to tune up these small blades, you'll see a big difference. Give it a shot. You might like it. You might not like it. At least give it a shot so you'll know the difference. My name's Carl. I do appreciate being here today.